We often chase a number, a figure on a spreadsheet that's supposed to tell us, in the world, how successful we are. We call it net worth, and for a long time, I bought into it. Just like everyone else. I saw it as the ultimate scoreboard. The higher the number, the better you're doing, right? But then, I started noticing something. Something that didn't quite add up. It wasn't a sudden lightning bolt, more like a slow, dawning realization. I'd see people with impressive net worth figures, living in big houses, driving fancy cars, owning businesses, but they seemed trapped, stressed, constantly busy, not with things they loved, but with the upkeep of their own wealth. And that's when it hit me. What if this number, this net worth, is actually a distraction, or worse, a beautifully packaged lie? What if the wealth we're so busy accumulating is, in many ways, the very thing that's stealing our lives? The conventional wisdom is straightforward. Assets minus liabilities equals net worth. Assets are things you own that have value. Your house, investments, your business. Liabilities are what you owe. Mortgages, loans. Simple enough, but this calculation misses something crucial. The nature of those assets. It doesn't ask if those assets serve you, or if you serve them. I began to see that many so-called assets are actually what I now think of as enslaving assets. These are things that, on paper, add to your net worth, but in reality, they drain your most precious, non-renewable resource. Your time. And not just time, but your energy, your mental peace, your freedom. Think about it. That huge house. It looks great on the balance sheet, but it also demands constant maintenance, high property taxes, endless cleaning, repairs. It might tie you to a specific location, even if opportunities or desires pull you elsewhere. It's an asset, yes, but it's also a voracious consumer of your life. Or consider a complex business that can't function for a day without your direct involvement. Its valuation might be high, but if it chains you to 80-hour work weeks, and prevents you from ever truly disconnecting, is it making you richer in life or poorer? Many of these enslaving assets are also illiquid. That's a term we hear in finance, and it simply means they're hard to convert into cash quickly without taking a significant loss. So, you might be rich on paper because you own a niche factory or a unique piece of real estate, but if a crisis hits and you need money fast, that paper wealth can evaporate or prove inaccessible. You're a millionaire who can't pay the bills. The irony is stark. This is where the idea of time poverty comes into play. You can have a high net worth, but be utterly impoverished when it comes to free time. You're so busy managing, maintaining, and worrying about your assets that you have no time to enjoy them. No time for your relationships, your hobbies, your health, or simply to be. So, how can we apply this understanding in our own lives? It starts with a ruthless audit of what we own, or what we aspire to own. For every significant asset, we need to ask ourselves a hard question. Does this asset primarily give me more life, more freedom, more options, or does it primarily take my time, my energy, and my peace of mind to sustain it? Be honest. That vintage car collection might be valuable, but if it spends most of its time in a garage needing expensive upkeep and you're too busy to drive the cars, or too worried about them getting damaged, what's its true contribution to your life? It's a fundamental shift from asking, how much is this worth, to what is this costing me? In terms of life, this obsession with the net worth number is often a vanity metric. We chase it for external validation, to feel important, to keep up with the Joneses. But this external scoreboard rarely reflects internal well-being. It doesn't measure your stress levels, your sense of fulfillment, or the quality of your days. When we focus solely on that number, we're measuring our lives by someone else's ruler, a ruler that often doesn't care if we're happy or free. So, if net worth tied to these kinds of assets is a flawed measure, what's the alternative? I believe true wealth lies in three key elements: time, autonomy, and optionality. Time is the ultimate currency. It's the one thing you can't make more of. True wealth should buy you more control over your time. Time to spend with loved ones, to pursue passions, to learn, to rest, to contribute to causes you care about. If your assets are constantly demanding your time just for their upkeep, they're not building this kind of wealth. Autonomy is about self-governance. It's the freedom to make your own life choices, without being dictated by the demands of your possessions or the financial obligations tied to them. If your valuable asset means you have to live in a certain place, or work a certain job you dislike, or maintain a certain lifestyle that feels inauthentic, then you lack autonomy. True wealth enhances your ability to say yes to what aligns with your values and no to what doesn't. And optionality is about having a range of choices. It's the ability to pivot, to adapt, to seize opportunities, or to navigate downturns without being backed into a corner. Liquid assets, though Sicily converted to cash, contribute massively to assets that generate positive cash flow, meaning they bring in more money than they cost to maintain, without requiring much of your active time. Also, build options, they give you resources and breathing room. Think about it. How many people do you know who are house rich, cash poor? They have a valuable property, but every spare penny goes into the mortgage and upkeep, leaving them with little flexibility for anything else. They have an asset, but limited optionality. This brings me back to that core question. Does your wealth serve you, or do you serve your wealth? It's like there's an undeclared freedom tax on certain assets. The more illiquid it's paid not in dollars, but in hours of your life, in mental load, in lost opportunities for other experiences. So, what's a more robust way to think about building financial well-being? It's about aiming for a kind of that's a term popularized by Nassim Taleb, and it describes systems that don't just resist shock, but actually benefit or get stronger from them, or at least recover quickly and adapt. A financial life built on true wealth, time, autonomy, someone with fewer, but more liquid, cash-flowing, and low-maintenance assets, might have a lower net worth on paper than the person with the sprawling, illiquid estate. But when an economic downturn hits, or a personal crisis arises, who is better positioned? The one who can adapt, who has cash reserves, whose income streams aren't solely tied to one vulnerable, high-maintenance venture. Building this kind of life doesn't mean rejecting material possessions or shunning financial success. Not at all. It means being far more conscious and intentional about how we build that success and what kind of assets we accumulate. It's about prioritizing assets that generate freedom over assets that merely inflate a number. How can you start shifting towards this? First, critically evaluate your current assets. For each one, ask, what is its net effect on my time? My autonomy? Does it generate positive cash flow with minimal effort? Or is it a constant drain? Second, when considering new acquisitions or investments, don't just look at the potential financial return. Analyze the life return. How much of your time and energy will this demand? Will it increase your freedom or restrict it? Third, prioritize liquidity and positive cash flow from sources that don't require your constant presence. This could be anything from well-chosen rental properties managed by someone else, to dividend-paying stocks, to creating intellectual property that generates royalties. The key is that it works for you, not the other way around. Fourth, invest in yourself, your skills, your knowledge, your health. These are assets that increase your optionality and resilience in ways that no physical possession can. A new skill can open up entirely new income streams or career paths, giving you more choices. It's a profound shift to realize that the ultimate luxury isn't a bigger house or a faster car, but a day where your time is truly your own. It's the freedom to wake up and decide what you want to do, not what your possessions or your debt-fueled lifestyle demand you do. So, the wealth that steals your life is the kind that looks good on paper but feels heavy in reality. It's the kind that ties you down, stresses you out, and consumes your days. The true pursuit should be for a wealth that liberates, that empowers, that gives you back your life, richer and more fully your own. It's not just about what you have. It's about who you get to be because of it. And that's a redefinition of success worth striving for. So, how do we bring this philosophy into our everyday lives? It's not always about grand gestures or overhauling everything at once. Often, it's the small, consistent choices. Consider the simple act of regularly going through your physical possessions and letting go of what no longer serves you isn't just tidying up. It's reclaiming mental space. Each item you remove is one less thing to maintain, to clean, to worry about. This directly reduces the enslavement to stuff and can free up surprising amounts of time and energy. Think about your digital life too. Unsubscribing from a dozen email lists you ignore or deleting apps you don't use can create a sense of lightness and focus. It's a small act of autonomy. Another powerful daily practice is mindful consumption. Before any purchase, especially a significant one, pause. Ask, will this genuinely add to my freedom and well-being, or will it become another obligation? That brief moment of questioning can prevent the accumulation of future time thieves. It's about choosing quality of life over quantity of things every single day. Learning to say no is also crucial. Saying no to commitments, requests, or even social obligations that don't align with your core priorities, or that you know will drain your energy. Each no to an external demand can be a yes to your own time, your peace, or your ability to pursue what truly matters to you. This builds your autonomy muscle. Even automating small, repetitive tasks can make a difference. Setting up automatic bill payments, using templates for common emails, or creating simple systems for household chores. These things might seem minor, but they chip away at the daily friction that consumes mental bandwidth, freeing you up for more valuable uses of your time and thought. And consider building small pockets of options. This could be as simple as consistently setting aside a tiny amount of money into an opportunity or emergency fund. Knowing you have a small cushion, however modest, can reduce financial anxiety and give you more breathing room to make choices, not driven by immediate financial pressure, These aren't revolutionary tactics, but their consistent application shifts your default from accumulation to liberation. The benefit is a gradual, almost imperceptible, increase in your daily freedom. You start to feel lighter, less burdened by your wealth, and more in control of your days. That's the real compound interest of living this way. It's been quite a journey exploring these ideas, and I truly hope this offers a new lens through which to view your own relationship with what you own and what you value. Thank you for taking the time to explore this with me. Before you go, I encourage you to check out the description below this video. There's something there I've put together that you might find quite helpful on your own path.